It's time to look at comprehensions in our course here. And comprehensions are similar to ternary expressions because they're simplified. They're more concise, kind of truncated. And what they do is they'll take an existing list or some other type of collection, and we'll run a for loop on that to make some modifications to the elements here, and then we'll create a new list based on those modifications, leaving the old list intact. And normally we can do that with a for loop. We've seen for loops many times before in this course, and so they're not new to us maybe. But what a comprehension will do is it sort of reformats that for loop. Okay, so look at this. Here is a normal for loop declaration, and in a comprehension here it is at the end. Right? It's not at the beginning as usual. And here is the operation that we'd like to do on that for loop. And right here, that comes after the for loop declaration, but in a comprehension, that operation comes before the for loop instead of after it. And there's some other changes here too. We need to append in a for loop, but in a comprehension we don't need to append. All we do is set the new list equal to the comprehension. So those are some differences. So I've just run this block to create this cat, dog, chicken, monkey, and elephant list. And what we're going to do here is run this for loop, and we're going to say for each word in the C list, for each word, make that an uppercase word, and then append that uppercase word into this new C list. Right. So this is incorporating a lot of code that we've already used and that we've already seen. So hopefully this makes sense to you. Now this new C list, whereas before we ran our for loop it was empty, after we ran the for loop it's now populated with transformed elements from this first list. In this comprehension we're doing another transformation. It's a capitalized instead of an uppercase. Here we're doing uppercase, here we're doing capitalized. So only the first letter of each element is going to be capitalized. And let me run that. So we've made two transformations and created two new lists. One transformation and new list we did with a conventional for loop. The other transformation and new list we created with a comprehension. And make it a point to really compare the difference in the syntax. So really we talked about three differences, and we'll look at that again below as we consider set comprehensions. So here we're actually creating a new set rather than a new list, and then we're going to loop through our C list up here, the same list, and for each word we're going to get the length of each word. Then we'll put the length of each word, which is going to be an integer. We're going to put it into this set, and maybe based on our understanding of sets that we achieved before, if you look at this list, the length of the word cat and the length of the word dog is the same, 3. Do you think we're going to get the number 3 2 times in a set? Well, no, because a set has only unique values. So let's run this and see the length of each word. Once again, we took this existing list, we did some transformation or some analysis of it, and based on that analysis we created a new set. And that's what comprehensions are largely used for. Okay, again we're going to do the same thing, not with a conventional loop, but with a comprehension. And again we have the for declaration at the end instead of the beginning. We have our new word length set at the very beginning, and that's equal to our comprehension. And then the operation of the loop happens right before the declaration of the loop. So that's the pattern. If we run that, we get the exact same result.